Here's what it actually costs to redo the entire exterior of this home in Golden, Colorado. The all-in price came to $66,357, which works out to about $27.63 per square foot of siding. That includes everything. The full tear-off, the new James Hardie siding, the trim, the soffit and fascia, new gutters, the moisture protection behind it all, and the work we did not know about until we opened up the walls. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly where that money went on a real home in Golden, Colorado. And the one thing that we found mid-project that changed the number drastically. No vague ranges, just the real pricing, a real breakdown on a real home. This Golden home is a big, simply shaped two-story home in the West Pleasant View neighborhood. Long, straight walls, full gable ends, which means a lot of siding, about 2,400 square feet of wall to wrap. The original siding was an older wood composite and it had more than run its life. The big problem was water. It had been getting behind the siding for years. The material was breaking down and the damage had gone far enough that it was starting to affect the structure at the base of the home. The soffit, fascia, and gutters were all failing at the same time too. The homeowner did not want another patch. They wanted the whole exterior done once and never wanted to think about their siding again. And on a home this size, with this much going on, the numbers add up fast, which is exactly why understanding the breakdown matters. Let me break down for you where the money goes on a project like this, as a share of the whole. The biggest piece, about 66%, is the James Hardie siding itself. That is the evening blue lap siding with cedar mill trim for a natural wood-like texture, and everything that goes into installing it. The full tear-off and disposal of the old siding, the Hardie wrap moisture barrier, and the flashing at every opening. A full tear-off is real labor, plus the dumpster and the disposal fees, and it is the only way to see what you are actually working with underneath your existing siding. And remember, this home failed because water got in behind the old siding. So that moisture barrier and the flashing are not extras. They are the whole point of doing it right from the start. From there, replacing the soffit and fascia is about 7%. Cladding the bare south eave and repairing the framing at the garage openings is another 6%. New 5-inch seamless gutters and downspouts are about 4% of the total, and the building permit rounds it out at about 1%. That covers the work we could see and priced up front. But there was one more piece we did not know about until the walls were open. And this is the most important part of this whole story. That is next. Now here's the part most contractors do not talk about openly. Before a project like this, we do a core test. We check what is underneath the old siding so we know what we are really dealing with before anyone is committed. On this home, during our pre-construction walkthrough, some of the original siding had already blown off, which actually worked in our favor. It meant we could see the substrate without running a core test. What we found was Celotex, which is a particle board product. Particle board is not a suitable mounting surface for James Hardie. It flexes, so you end up with a visible wave in the finished siding. And on older homes where the studs are not always 16 inches on center, there's no reliable surface to nail into between studs. OSB or plywood gives our installers a solid, consistent surface to fasten into no matter what they find behind the wall. So the full resheath was the right call here, not optional. And we handled it as a written change order before the crew moved forward. We do not bury it in the price, and we do not cut corner and side right over bad sheathing, which is exactly how you end up with failures just a few years later. Instead, we document it, we show the homeowner, and we put it in writing as a change order before we do the work. That resheath, along with rebuilding the framing and jams at the garage openings where the water damage had reached the structure, it added about 16% to the total project cost. All in, it came to $66,357. That is the honest way to price a project. The scope you can see up front and anything we find documented and approved before we proceed. So why James Hardie fiber cement for this home? Let's start with the actual problem we were solving. This home failed because of water. The old composite siding let moisture in for years. It broke down. It had gone far enough to start damaging the structure at the base of the home, which is why we had to rebuild the framing and jams at the garage openings. So the number one job of the new siding was simple. Never let that happen again. and the homeowner had already come to the same conclusion. They had done their research, and they wanted James Hardie specifically because they decided it was the best siding for this Colorado climate. Fiber cement siding is built for exactly that. It resists moisture far better than the wood-based products that just failed here. It handles our freeze and thaw cycles, and it is non-combustible, meaning it does not burn, which matters in a state where wildfires are so prevalent. On the look, the homeowner did not want to change the character of the home. A blue body with white trim, so we matched it. James Hardie lap in evening blue with Arctic white trim. The old siding had a wide 11-inch exposure, and they were open to updating that. So the new 7-inch lap reads cleaner and more current while still feeling like the same home. So yes, you pay a little bit more for Hardie up front, but on a home that already lost the siding system to moisture once before, it is the difference between solving the problem or repeating it. Here is the before, and here's the after. Same home, same colors the homeowner loved, now wrapped into a durable system that's built to last. If you take anything from this project, take this. 1. When your siding is failing, look at the whole exterior at once. The siding, the soffit, the fascia, and the gutters, because they fail together, and they are cheaper to do together. 2. On any older home, plan for the possibility that there is damage underneath the siding that you cannot see yet, and work with a contractor who will show you what they find and put it in writing before they charge you for it. 3. When you compare bids, compare scope, not just the bottom line. If you are anywhere on the Front Range and you want a straight, transparent look at your own project, we're more than happy to help. I am Sean O'Brien with WestPro Home Exteriors, and thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more videos like this.